Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to the channel. I want to talk today about assuming the role. You know when you were little, how it was so easy to play make-believe? I can't speak for a guy, but I know my brother's name was always Ted. My brother's name is Brian, but his make-believe name was Ted, and I think he named me Linda. But as children, we go through, we imagine things all the time. You think about their stuffed animals become real to them. They believe in the Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, and all of these wonderful things that bring them to a place of, usually it's a place of happiness, right? So it's not hard for children to daydream. It's not hard for children to imagine or to put themselves in a situation or a place or a category or whatever it might be that brings them to a new level of feeling. Why is it that we lose that need or that ability when we get older? If we want to be whole and healthy, we can assume that role. We can think our way there. We can daydream about what it's like to have a whole and healthy body. We can daydream what it's like to be 10 pounds thinner or whatever it is you want in that category. We can daydream what it's like to have $1 million in the bank, and what would you do with it, and what would you spend it on, or what would you invest it in, or what would you give to what charity? These are things that we can do to assume the identity. You see, the universe doesn't know the difference between make-believe and belief. It just knows what you're thinking. It just knows that feeling, right? So that's why I am statements are so powerful and so important, because it's a declaration. When you assume the role of what you want, when you become that identity, your body will follow suit. There's a story of a homeless man that lived in LA, and he wanted to be an actor. He wanted to be an actor so bad that he went to the public library and he read all kinds of books on how to be a wealthy millionaire. That's the role he wanted to play as an actor. What are lifestyles like of a millionaire? What are things that they do? What's their mannerism? How do they dress? What do they spend their money on? What's their verbiage? What's their language? How do they talk? He taught himself different accents and dialects because he wanted to emulate what that would be like if he were this rich millionaire, right? And he even volunteered at some kind of an event so he could be around as a waiter. He could be around these affluent and rich people so he could observe what they were like. And he constantly thought of these things in his head. He constantly thought of these images, and he thought of these ideas, and he put himself into this category. Someday, something happened where he was given word that there was an audition for this particular role in a movie that was coming up about a millionaire. He went and he auditioned for the part, and he got the part. He got the part because he wasn't acting. He got the part because he had already assumed the role. He had already focused himself into that feeling, into that alignment of what it would be like, that it became natural, it became easy for him. And of course, as the story goes on, he was paid quite well to be this leading role. He invested this money because he knew what to do. He had already been studying about different investments while he'd spent time at the library. He knew how to make his money grow because that's what he wanted when he was visualizing. And so he became this part. It became who he is. You see this all the time, or you read about it all the time with Olympic athletes or any kind of a professional athlete. And I'm sure it goes for the fact of, people that want to be a professional singer, or maybe they want to win a pageant or whatever it is. You can visualize yourself into that reality. And that's what happens. When you spend time every day, as you did as a child, children just do it automatically. You don't have to tell a child, I want you today to pretend you're a princess. They will just do it. They will just do it. There's a movie I remember one of my daughters loved called The Little Princess. And it was about a little girl who was estranged from her parents. And the home that she actually was living in, she was treated like she was this horrific outcast. And they placed her in the attic of this really beautiful home, but the attic was terrible and it was cold and it was not pretty at all. And she went up there and she just started getting creative. She put big blankets. She draped them like she was in some princess palace. And she had created this place, this haven for her that felt like a palace. And she became that little princess. Actually, her dad came back to rescue her. It turns out he was a prince and she actually was a princess. But she allowed herself to think about it. So as you're going through times that you're either praying for something or manifesting, to me it's the same word, think about yourself already there. Visualize yourself already there. Just as many of these athletes visualize themselves winning at whatever the Olympic thing they were doing. They already visualized themselves winning it. They already visualized what's it going to be like to put that gold medal, the silver or the bronze around my neck. What's it going to be like to hear my national anthem being played? These are things they already thought about prior to having it. So that when you get to that place, or it becomes so automatic, the universe goes, it is what it is. Here it is, right? You literally have become the part. Become the part of what you want. You want to be a happier person? Think of things that make you happy. You want to be a happier person? Be around people that are happy. You want to be a happier person? Read or watch things that create that sense of happiness, peace, joy. You want to be happy? Look for other people who are happy. Just like that actor, you want to be, wealthy and prosperous. Take on the role. Figure out what's it like? What's it like to think that way, dress that way, talk that way? What do they spend their money on? Become that role. You want to be a good parent? Think about what a good parent is. Become that role. You want to be good in your relationship? Daydream about what it would be like to have this most fulfilling relationship. Become that role. This is stuff that we do every day. We have a choice. Are we assuming the bad and becoming more of the bad role? Or are we flipping it? Are we changing it? Are we saying enough? Enough! I want to be happy. I want to be prosperous. I want to be, whatever it is. I'm going to start thinking that way. I'm going to start thinking that way. When you start that thought process, your body follows suit. It has to, because your mind leads your body. Your body does not lead your mind. Your mind leads your body. So let your thoughts lead your body to what you want. Again, during cancer, I'm looking at myself with no hair, no eyebrows, no eyelashes, chemo in my body, and I'm saying to myself as I look in the mirror, I am whole and healthy. Despite what I saw, I am whole and healthy. That's what I did every day. Every day, at every minute that I could consciously tell myself that. I'm laying in the tubes of CAT scans and PET scans and all these tests, and I'm saying to myself, I'm whole and healthy. I'm whole and healthy. This is one step closer to whole and healthy. I'm saying all this to you guys because it works. I know that it does. I'm not just reading a bunch of crap and then sharing it with you. I know that it works. And if it works for my health and it saved my life with the obviously the care of God right there. Yes, I'm not giving him no glory in all this. I certainly am. So don't hate on me. I'm really tired of people coming at me saying, how dare you claim any role in healing yourself? Because I did my part. I did what God wanted me to do. I assumed the role of whole and healthy, and he made up the rest, right? So don't hate on me. I will block you, and you will not be welcomed on my channel because I was there. You weren't. I know what it's like. And I know, too, that this is the same thing. This is the same thing of anything that we want in our lives. We can assume the role. We can assume the part. There's a speaker... He's an inspirational, motivational speaker, and he spent 9 years in prison for a crime that he did not commit. And he talks about the whole time he was there, he thought about what it's going to be like when I get released. What's my life going to be like? What am I going to be doing? How am I making my money? Where am I living? He had all this time to daydream about what it would be like. And as it turned out, he ended up serving a much less shorter amount of time than what he was actually at first sentenced to. And now he's actually living exactly that life that he daydreamed about. So, you see little children all the time, especially little girls or little boys, that they have on their Superman cape or their, Disney princess, and they go to Disneyland and they meet what they think is the real princess. That has become real to them. That has become what they dreamed about, right? And so it's no different. That doesn't stop. A daydream is a way of manifesting. A daydream is a way that we are actually thinking, feeling, putting ourselves into a situation where we are becoming what we want. That is your homework. That is what your part in this is. My part in what this is. Whatever I want, whatever you want, put yourself in the place where you are already there. And the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, brings it to you. Put yourself there. That is the ultimate test, the ultimate act of faith. Faith, believing in things that are not seen. You believe you are this thing. You believe you have this thing. You believe you live in this place. You believe you have this dream career. You believe it. That is faith. That is not pie in the sky. That's not taking away from God. You are exercising faith, doing something, believing something that hasn't happened yet. And when you do that, ask and you shall receive. Ask and you shall receive. Let it come to you. Let it come to you on your path of least resistance. I appreciate you guys being here. I'll see you next time. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, just message me below. I'd be happy to be your coach. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.